think the problem historically, and the reason why people are so emotional about that, is because way back when there were, there weren't research studies for this population of kids, and people had such low expectations, the sight word approach was like a compromise. It's like, well, they're never going to learn to, decode. So let's give them something, And I think that that persisted for so long, past the point where we did have the research, that it made a lot of us, me included, just very frustrated and angry, and I still, will hear from schools, well, she really does so much better. It creates such low expectations. So that's why I think people are so emotional. But any reading program, evidence-based structured literacy program, is going to include teaching some words by sight. And what those words are, I think, is where people get a little bit still, they disagree. My feeling is that when kids are first learning, it's very frustrating, the whole phonics piece for many children. And if they have no sight words, they're not going to be able to have that joy of, even a three-word sentence with an illustration. So, I think there's benefit to that for the motivational piece, but there's also benefit because early on, there are words that will be decodable once the children knows the rules to them. But right now, they're not. And they're very, very common, those high frequency words. So kids do need to learn those. I think that when we need to be cautious is if particularly schools, will make this error, is if people are relying on that and saying this is all a child can do. But I don't feel as strongly as some people about never teaching sight words. The other thing that comes up sometimes is there are these sight word programs. Edmark is the one that everybody loves to hate. And if you try to teach Edmark alongside a structured literacy phonics program, you're going to create confusion. And so people will say, "Oh, well, he's doing so great with Edmark. Let's just add on, the Wilson." And that's not a good idea. So I think it's, more complex than a lot of times people realize.